So today we're going to talk about borrowing versus selling assets. So we get the question a lot, with clients that have retirement accounts or the accounts or, they money or the case would be like, kind of what's the best way to kind of get money without paying Uncle Sam. So we'll kind of talk about that. And also for business owners on here as well, like what are some things you can do with actual your business to kind of help as well. So we'll talk about that in totality also. So Da, 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 da. All right. So the first thing we always recommend is that you are your own business partner. So anytime we think about doing something business wise, right? So you want to do real estate or you want to, sell something online. We usually recommend actually not getting funding first because if we get funding, that means we owe somebody. So like we recommend if you have an idea, first kind of do it yourself with like a small amount of money so you can kind of see if it works. Because when you knock your head a few times, you see what works and you kind of multiply it by leveraging credit or if you want to do real estate, getting a loan or something of that nature. But you want to kind of do something small with your own money first because you want to test stuff, right? Because if it's just with a small amount of money, you fail faster, but then you learn cheaply. We want to learn with the least amount of money if thinking about doing a business or have a business idea, not with a lot. Also, you know what works and what doesn't work, right? So again, by doing something on a smaller scale or doing something small, it allows us to really kind of see what works and what doesn't work. So once you do get funding, once you do have access to capital, you're able to really do large things quickly because you know what works and what doesn't work. But then also you understand the customer's behavior as well, right? Like spending a lot of money on ads and having them not targeted and not knowing if a customer is going to buy your goods or services, that doesn't help. But if we kind of know the customer's behavior, we know, when they're going to buy products. If you're selling a book, when's the best time to sell your book? If you're selling clothing, if you're selling gadgets, whatever you're doing, you can understand your customer's behavior. We want you to do that with like a small amount of money so that you really understand. So when you put money into that business and really have it grow, then you're able to really see the multiplication of it. And I always just like to kind of use example, right? So I have blessed to help, a lot of clients that are teachers. And one of our clients, she actually started a summer tutoring service because as we know, it's the summertime, what to do with the kids. So we actually she started this last year. And so she started a tutoring service and she had, some money in her savings account and instead of kind of taking money from her retirement account from a borrowing standpoint, which we'll talk about, I recommended, hey, before you really kind of dump money into it, let's just put a small amount of money that you have in your savings account already to run ads. So we can run ads to see what works, what doesn't work. You can run a couple ads. I think somebody's talking. My mom said, y'all can put that person on mute because he's yeah. So she ran some ads. She ran basically 4 different ad campaigns at $250 a piece, so $1,000. But she ran them without having a pixel. And I know we talked about last month with Steven and Steven, it's very important when you run the Facebook ad to have a pixel because when you run that Facebook ad with the pixel, it actually targets people and it kind of builds up your database. So she didn't track any data. So did it again about a few weeks later, and this time she had it more targeted with the pixel. Well, she ended up acquiring 4 students, and each of those students' parents paid $1,000 for her to tutor, their children over a like 3-week time period in summertime. So so she spent $1,000 and bumped her head. But then the second $1,000 she spent, so altogether she spent $2,000. She had a return of 4,000, so she basically doubled her money. So now this summer, we actually had her take a loan against her 403B because she knows kind of what works. She knows how to use the pixel. She knows how to use the targeting and Facebook ads. She did this starting in May to kind of get ready for June. She already has 8 people. So literally she did the same $2,000 and now she has 8 students already. So now she basically kind of 4X'd by kind of bumping her head with her money and just kind of seeing what works and what doesn't work. Now she's able to kind of leverage her 403b. And then, of course, if things continue to grow, because she has, she's in her 50s, so she might have like 20 years the school board. So she had another 10 years to go to retire. This goes well, she might be able to just do this maybe full time, right? So she could then retire early from her school position and do this and basically make the same amount of money doing this compared to dealing with the knuckleheads in the school system. Now, I don't know if we have any retired teachers on the chat, but we know, between the students, the parents, the bureaucracy with the school boards, it's a mess. But again, she basically bumped her head and had her trials and tribulations with a small amount. So she earned confidence, and then she this year's applying the leverage. So we wouldn't say anything. Anytime that you want to do something, start with a really small amount of money just to see if it works, if it doesn't work, and then once we find out it works, why it works, then we start to go through the process we're going to talk about now, where we kind of leverage credit, to help grow.
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me okay?
Joseph from ATL. Hey, are you going to an Invest Fest, Joseph?
I would really like to. If I'm in town, I definitely would. The other few times I've been out of the country. So,
yes, it must be nice. It must be nice. Hey, so
all business. So yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Now, the reason why I ask, because we're going to have a meetup. So everybody who's going to Invest Fest, just let me know. So we can have a meetup, have somewhere, everything on us, of course, just to kind of meet everybody in person, shake hands, and talk about financial literacy.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So the question is about the Pixel. I've seen that before, and I really never understood how to do it and what it was for. You just explained to me what it was for. Is it pretty easy to?
Yes, it is definitely easy. Do you run Facebook ads already?
I have attempted a few times, and I've always run across that pixel, and I didn't understand the intention and how to do it, so I just kind of avoided it.
Okay, yeah. So if you ran Facebook ads on your Facebook ad account, it's like a long number that's a pixel. Let me do this though, because we had the people that run my ads and run a lot of other people's ads on the call last month to talk about it. I'll make sure somebody emails you the replay of that and actually kind of go step by step on where to find the pixel and how to add it into your Facebook ads, so that going forward you can do more targeted ads, and you also can collect the data of everybody who's watching your ads, clicking on your videos, and looking at your content. We recommend anytime you need money, you want to buy a house, you need money for something, it's always good to basically borrow, and we'll kind of go over why. Borrow versus selling. So we say if you can, borrow, because selling, financially speaking, is the wrong move. A couple reasons why. Number one, we have capital gains tax. Now, anytime we sell something that's a non-retirement plan, right, it is a capital gains tax. A short-term capital gains tax is if we sell something in less than a year, and that is basically what our income bracket is. So if we're in the 24% income bracket and we buy something and less than a year later we sell it, we're going to pay 24%. Compared to long-term capital gain, where I buy something, I hold it for more than a year. When I sell it, it's 15%, right? So we are paying taxes, but it's best if you buy something to hold it for more than 1 year because you pay less taxes. But we don't want you to pay taxes if you don't have to. Now, if you have a retirement account, now this is different, right? If you have a retirement account, if it's a 401k or 403b, a deferred compensation plan, or a pension, that well, not a pension because you can manipulate that, but a 401k, a 457, a deferred comp, that is 20%. For every $100 is 20% taxes, whether you like it or not. If you roll over that retirement account to a traditional IRA, then you can decide how much taxes you take out. And we recommend, again, not a blanket recommendation, but for individuals, we typically tell a person to do 10% tax withholding, right? If you take money out your retirement account, got $100, take it out, $10 to Uncle Sam, the rest goes to you, because some things you can do throughout the year to basically break even. But if you sell something, you pay taxes. We don't want you to do that. Then also you have a loss of appreciating assets. So let's say, we have something and we sell it. Let's say it's worth $10,000, we sell it. Well, 5 years later, that $10,000 could be possibly 20,000 or 30,000. Since we sold it, we no longer have that asset, so we don't have like the advantage of it, right? And I got to go over an example that we literally talked about a few days ago with one of our clients, which trying to sell a family property. Then also missed out on future income or dividends. Most investments pay some type of dividends. Most investments pay some type of interest unless it's a growth like stock, right? But if you have a dividend paying stock or income generating property, it's paying us income as well. So when we sell it, we miss out on the income that we're getting on a monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis. Like that stops. So for those reasons, we want to do whatever we can not to sell an investment. If we can, we want to borrow, because if we borrow, then we keep ownership, right? So if we borrow something or borrow against something, we still own it. Now, yes, we're paying a bank or a person, but we still own it though, right? And it's nothing like ownership because we get all the tax write-offs associated with it. From a tax efficiency standpoint, if it's structured properly, where if we have it tied to our business or if we are a retiree or a W-2 employee and we have an LLC that we open up and have it tied to that, then some of the interest that we're paying, we get to write it off. So it's not a tax-free loan, but it can be a tax-free loan if we structure it properly. And then also wealth compounding, right? Compounding interest. Einstein, he always said compounding interest is the secret weapon to success, because over time, the more we have, if we don't sell it, the more we make over time. So we're able to kind of take advantage of that. So we recommend whatever you can, trying to preserve whatever assets you have and not selling something, but borrowing. Let me give a real world example. So literally had this conversation with clients last week. They have a property where they have a family property in Fort Lauderdale. That family property is $175,000. So it was $175,000, and they wanted to sell it. So if they sold it, they basically would have paid capital gains tax of $15,000. So that would have been $15,000 that goes to the IRS. They get nothing back. Now it's just there, like they're gonna have to figure out to remodel it, because it's not in the best shape in the world, but still, like, it's just there, and they're paying property tax, they're paying insurance, they just want to get rid of it. It's family property, it needs a lot of work. So we're like, well, if you sell it, for $175,000, yeah, at $175,000, you get about $160,000 back. It's gone. So you pay Uncle Sam taxes, and then over time, as the value of that house perfectly is going to go up, you're not going to be able to take advantage of it. So we recommend that they actually borrow against it, right?